In Latin America, governments have historically been much more open about reports of so-called unidentified aerial phenomena. And as you're about to see, there's a heck of a lot to report. In March of 2004, a Mexican Air Force surveillance plane patrols along the Gulf of Mexico. On the lookout for drug smugglers, its infrared camera instead captures this startling footage. A string of glowing orbs. The video lasts for almost a minute, and here you can see 11 of those orbs seeming to fly in formation. When the plane turns to follow, the objects seem to disappear. The camera operator declares that whatever it was he's filmed, it's 100% real. The Mexican Secretary of Defense releases the video so that the scientific community can study it. MJ Banayas, a journalist who covers the unexplained, has looked into the incident.
When this sighting was first made public, a lot of people within the UFO community got very excited about UFOs operating in fleets.
These orbs are reminiscent of those Foo Fighters seen by World War II pilots. They also look similar to another Mexican UFO we've reported on before. This glowing object, which Captain Eric Delgado recorded in 2020, as it tracked his cargo plane for 20 minutes in the airspace above Monterrey.
That is phenomenal, man. Look at that.
Strangely, that orb never showed up on Delgado's collision avoidance system or air traffic control's radar.
There's weather about 40 miles off our left wingtip where this thing seems to have disappeared.
I guess now I can definitively say we are not alone.
Something similar was reported with this Mexican Air Force incident. The crew of the surveillance plane counted 11 objects, but only 3 showed up on the plane's radar. For years, this video has sparked hot debate, so we turned it over to our team of experts. Mick West is a forensic video analyst who looks for any tampering with the footage. His conclusion?
This is a real video of UFOs. It was taken by the Mexican military and verified as being a real thing.
Which brings us to the challenge of identifying those glowing objects. Astronomer and video effects designer Mark D'Antonio considers the most obvious answer.
There's a theory that this is maybe a fleet of aircraft being flown by drug smugglers, but these objects never distance themselves from each other. I think drug smugglers are probably not championship formation flying pilots like the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels. You know, one plane will go up higher, one will come lower, so I don't think that these are other aircraft.
West considers a string of other theories, including a mysterious natural phenomenon, orbs of light known as ball lightning.
Ball lightning is very, very rare, and it normally just occurs one at a time and doesn't last very long. So I think the likelihood of this being a whole bunch of ball lightning all at once is extraordinarily low.
What about space junk?
A rocket disintegrating you would see up in the air. This is something they're looking basically horizontal out of the horizon. So space junk is not really a good explanation.
So the objects don't move like space junk. In fact, West thinks they might not be moving at all. Plotting the plane's location, West calculates that its camera was pointed out over the Gulf of Mexico.
If we look at a map of the region, we can see there's a whole bunch of oil wells, which usually have some kind of flare on the top. So perhaps what they were seeing were the flares from these platforms.
But it seems clear the objects are moving, right?
Just above the horizon, you're poking up these little oil wells. And here's some kind of dummy clouds, which I've put in. And if we move the camera to the left, it looks like the oil rigs are moving past the clouds. So it's an illusion of motion.
But even West admits his theory isn't 100% certain. Digging deeper, we found out the oil wells are almost 100 miles from the plane, making it unlikely they'd show up on thermal camera. And another crucial detail. You see the flickering flames from the oil wells? In the alleged UFOs, no flickering. So, oil wells or something stranger? We're calling this a sighting of genuine UFOs. And the similarities with the orb recently reported by Captain Delgado are striking. 17 years after this video was shot, the Mexican government, just like us, is still looking for answers.